Okay, so now we've talked about heavy rain. Now we're going to switch gears and talk about the potential for thunderstorms. Alright, so a couple of things that you need for thunderstorms. You need warm air. So why don't we take a look at what our temperatures are going to be on Tuesday during the day. This is by Tuesday afternoon. So you can see we're up into the 60s, 50s across Long Island, New York City, towards the coast. You have the marine influence, so it's a little cooler across Long Island. But you can kind of see that we have a decent amount of warm air because we had a warm front move through earlier tonight. Okay, so whenever you have a warm front move through and then a cold front after that, when areas are in between a warm front and a cold front, that area is what we call warm sectored. And what that means is, after the warm front moves through, you have warmer and unstable air working in, and then the cold front comes through, and it bangs into that unstable air and creates vertical motion in the atmosphere, and you get instability and wind shear and all that stuff, and that's conducive for thunderstorm development. But you need warmth as well. If there's not a lot of warmth, you're not going to get severe weather. So while we do want warmer temperatures for severe weather, 60s again, that's not bad. So you can see obviously that there's warmer air. So your cold front is back across here by Tuesday afternoon. So this entire area would be at risk for seeing some thunderstorms. Next we want to look at dew points. And dew points, once again, is a measure of moisture within the atmosphere. Okay, and again by Tuesday afternoon, here you go. You typically want dew points of 60 or higher for severe thunderstorms. So Long Island, you don't make 60, you make it into the mid to upper 50s. I still think that's good for at least isolated thunderstorms. And then back across eastern Pennsylvania, lower Hudson Valley, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and then especially down south into New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, into Virginia, areas down south, you're at a pretty decent risk of severe thunderstorms, I would say. Anywhere from central New Jersey and southeastern Pennsylvania on southward, I think you have a very good severe weather threat for Tuesday. Baltimore, Washington, D.C., and Philadelphia, I would include you in that threat for severe storms on Tuesday afternoon and evening. Anywhere on north, I think your threat for severe weather is a lot less. I wouldn't be surprised to get a strong thunderstorm or two towards the rest of New Jersey and Long Island and New York City, and maybe even Connecticut, Lower Hudson Valley, and that's really about it. Maybe eastern Pennsylvania, maybe a strong thunderstorm or two, capable of gusty winds and heavy rain, but other than that, I don't really think there's going to be a big severe weather threat. And then up north again, I can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm or two, because you have the dew points, the warmer dew points extending all the way northward out ahead of your cold front. So we are going to get heavy rain, obviously, and I think the situation is going to be, you're going to get an area of heavy rain with embedded thunderstorms. That's what I think. Thunderstorms will be embedded within the heavy rain. So your dew points look promising, especially for areas south and west of Long Island and New York City. The other thing you need CAPE, convective available potential energy. And that is a measure, once again, of instability off the ground. Actually, let's go back one frame here. So when you have high values of CAPE, that shows that there's going to be a lot of surface heating, meaning the sun, striking the ground creates a lot of, causes heat columns to form, so you get rising air off the ground, so CAPE is a measure of that. And the problem with Tuesday is there's going to be a lot of fog around Monday night and cloud cover, and that limits the amount of destabilization that can occur on the surface. So your CAPE values are going to be relatively modest. So again, further south you can see across Virginia here, you can see the pockets of green starting to show up. That's where you have CAPE values approaching 1,000 joules per kilogram, and that's pretty good if you want severe weather. Across Virginia there. And then as you get further north, you see the lower values of instability still make it all the way north into Massachusetts, Connecticut, Long Island, New York City, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, And so with weak instability in all of these areas, thunderstorms cannot be ruled out. Okay, so I still think there's a good chance of severe weather across Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Maryland, and Delaware. Maybe southern New Jersey, southeastern Pennsylvania, perhaps. Maybe. And then further north, Long Island, New York City, you still have the potential to see isolated to scattered storms, maybe a strong storm or two. But what the low values of Cape tells me is that the threat for large hail is going to be minimal. I really don't think there's a hail threat on Tuesday with any thunderstorm based on this, because you need large values of Cape. You need rising air to be coming off the surface rapidly for the clouds to form high, to form vertically. And when you have low values of Cape like this, like these values are basically 400 and under, you really, that's not conducive to a hail threat. So I am not expecting hail for Tuesday. However, what I am expecting is a damaging wind threat, and I'll show you why. Because we have this thing called the low-level jet. And the low-level jet, again, this is winds in the lower atmosphere. When you have a strong low-level jet, you know, you're going to have thunderstorms capable of producing gusty winds. When you have a low-level jet, look at this. This is a really strong one. As AccuWeather meteorologist Bernie Rayno always says, wind equals energy that thunderstorms can use to form and strengthen. So when you take a look at this, your area of low pressure is all the way up there. And then on the eastern side, you have all this wind energy here. Out ahead of the cold front, you have areas of upward motion. So once again, take a look at this. You have winds approaching 75 to 80 knots in the lower atmosphere up into these northern areas here. Now that's not where your severe weather threat's going to be. Your severe weather threat's going to be back down to the south, but still, again, you're 50 to 60 knots in the atmosphere. That's really conducive. And so, while most of what I'm looking at, all the other dynamics are not pointing towards a thunderstorm threat, I can't ignore the low-level jet that's staring me right in the face, because this is a lot of wind energy. And I just think that there's plenty of energy in the lower atmosphere that thunderstorms will be able to use to develop. So I really think anywhere in the Northeast, based on this low-level jet, there's going to be a chance of thunderstorms on Tuesday. Whether or not they're severe, I can't really say. But again, your main threat for severe storms is to the south. But, you know, this is really promising for at least some thunderstorm activity. And based on this, any storm that forms, and any rain shower for that matter that forms, will be capable of producing gusty winds. I wouldn't be surprised if in certain areas thunderstorms produce gusty winds up to 50 miles per hour, and then again down south towards Maryland, Virginia, and Delaware, any severe storms that form will easily produce winds of over 60 miles per hour, so watch out down there. And then up further north, gusty winds 40 to 50 miles per hour, I would not be surprised to see occur. Okay, so that's your main thing. Now, I could take a look at the helicity index to see if rotation in the atmosphere. I really don't think there's going to be a tornado threat anywhere up here, so I'm not even going to bother looking at that. But what I will say is, I did draw a map for the thunderstorms. Where did I put it? Right here. So anywhere in the yellow here is where I think you are at the main risk for thunderstorms in general on Tuesday is in the yellow area. So gusty winds, heavy rain, lightning, and isolated small hail mainly to the south. Okay, so but northern areas not really going to see a lot of hail, not really. If it does happen, it'll be an isolated incident. But heavy rain and gusty winds are your main threats, Tuesday into Tuesday evening. Then, what's going to happen is your cold front is going to move through, and then take a look at this. This temperature difference, I swear, it's just staggering. And it really intrigues me to see this as, you know, an up-and-coming meteorologist in the future. Take a look at this. So, this is Tuesday evening at ahead of the cold front. Look at these temperatures, 60s, right? And behind this, look at this, 37, 33, 33. That's the temperature difference of 30 degrees. That is just unbelievable, especially for this time of year. So, on the back end of this, you're going to have snow, sleet, and ice. Now, it's not going to be a long period of snow, sleet, and ice, but there's going to be wintry precipitations. Out ahead of this, rain and thunderstorms, back end, with that other trough coming through, you have snow. And I wouldn't be surprised if some areas back in here got 1 to 3 inches of snow, maybe a little more, depending on the intensity. And depending on how cold it is, because it needs to stick. And this is going to be falling at night, so the sun angle of the spring is not going to be playing a role here because it's falling at night, so it will accumulate if it's cold enough. And then as you head further into Tuesday night, this is, by Wednesday morning, your cold front moves through. We're in the 30s and 20s. Look at this. 30s and 20s and 30s. And your band of snow is probably over Long Island, over the extreme eastern seaboard now, by early Wednesday morning across New York City perhaps as well, and extending back coastal sections of New Jersey. That's where your band of snow is going to be. But look at this, 30, 37, 35, 34, 33, and then back into the 20s. Like, wow, this is just insane for this time of year. And so I lost my train of thought. Anyway, what I'm going to show you now is there's this really good thing that the GFS has, the American model, that I really like. It has a map of mean sea level pressure and precipitation type. Okay, so this is by Tuesday morning. Take a look at this. So your cold front is along these areas of low pressure here by Tuesday morning. So out ahead of it, you have rain and thunderstorms, and then on the back end of this, you have your other trough moving through, which is back in here now. And out ahead of that trough, and in between the cold front and the trough, you have an area of snow here. And this is pretty intense. This is 1 to 3 inches across the Ohio Valley here, and up into the Great Lakes. So this is Tuesday morning. And then this is going to continue to push east. Most of the Northeast is getting snow from this. Let's go to Tuesday evening. Your cold front is across New Jersey, Lower Hudson Valley, and then just west of Vermont there. So rain and thunderstorms out ahead, and then in the back, with that other trough coming on through, in between the trough and the cold front, you have your snow. This temperature difference is just pretty big. And then, let's see where it goes. Let's keep going. Alright, now we're at 1 a.m., and here it is. Your snow is making it into New York City and Long Island, western portions of Long Island, Lower Hudson Valley, western Massachusetts, back up into Vermont. Your cold front is coming on through. As that cold front moves through, your main area of rain and thunderstorms moves out, and then this band of snow is coming back with that other trough coming on through. And the reason I think it's going to accumulate at least a little bit is because the models typically underdo cold air on the back of a system like this. So I really think temperatures might be closer to freezing than the models are saying. And if the GFS is picking up on snow like this already, that's saying something. And let's go even further. Now we're at Wednesday morning, and you can see the band of snow is now lingering across Maine and across Long Island and eastern portions of Long Island and southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island there. You can see, though, that snow makes it all the way through. So I think by 9 a.m. on Wednesday will be good. But I think anywhere in between 2 a.m. and 9 a.m. on Wednesday for Long Island and New York City, where most of the people that are watching this from will have to be concerned with a period of snow, I would say. And I wouldn't be surprised if we got a coating to 1 inch or 2, and maybe 3. We'll have to see. It depends on how intense it gets. So this is something to watch. But then we'll be good for the day on Wednesday. So that is the update right now. I really can't really say if the snow's going to accumulate yet. I'm not quite sure. None of the models really paint more than 1 inch. But typically, as you get towards the ocean, moisture sources increase. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was coating to 1 inch or 2 anywhere across the Northeast. And maybe even 1 to 3 inches. So we'll keep an eye on that over the next day or so, and we'll try to do another update tomorrow and Tuesday. Alright, thanks for watching. That is the current update.